Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh, and welcome to Vaisakhi 2023 at Wembley Stadium. This year, with the FA, we'll be celebrating Vaisakhi here at this stadium, showing the community how we celebrate Vaisakhi. Vaisakhi first became a thing in 1699 at Anandpur Sahib. Guru Gobind Singh Ji, in a crowd full of Sikhs, asked 5 to give their head. Those that came forward sacrificed themselves, but in doing so, they left this life and begun the life of immortality by taking the ambrosial nectar, Amrit. On this day, Guru Gobind Singh Ji also took Amrit. This day was to mark the need for Sikh Fateh. Sikh Fateh is about victory will be received when all have the access to food and freedom and liberation. Today is about reminding ourselves to stand out, show our identity and liberate those going through suffering.
Vaheguru, 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 Ik Oankar, Vaheguru, Baat Dasmi, Kabyo Bach Benti Chaupai, Hamri Karo Haath De Racha, Puran Hoye Chit Ki Ichha, तब चरणन मन रहे हमारा अपना जान करो प्रतिपारा हमरे दुष्ट सबे तुम कावो आप हाथ दे मोहे बचावो सुखी बसै मोरो परवारा सेवक सिख सबे करतारा मोर इच्छा निज कर दे करिए सब बैरन को आज संगरिए पूर्ण होए हमारी आशा तोर भजन की रहे प्यासा तुम्हें शाड़ कोई अवर न ध्याऊं जो बर चाहो सो तुम ते पाओ सेवक सिख हमारे तार्य है चुन चुन सत्र हमारे मार्य आप हाथ दे मुझे उबरिय मरण काल का त्रास निवरिय हु जो सदा हमारे पच्छा श्री अस्तुजु करियो रक्षा राख ले हो मोय राख नहारे साहिब संत सहाय प्यारे दीन बंद दुस्तन के हंता तुम हो पुरी चतुर्दश कंता काल पाए ब्रह्मा बपतरा काल पाए शिव जू अवतरा काल पाए कर विष्ण प्रकाशा सकल काल का किया तमाशा जवन काल जोगी शिव कियो वेदराज ब्रह्मा जुधियो जवन काल सब लोक सवारा नमस्कार है ताए हमारा नमस्कार सब जगत बनायो देव दैत्य क्षण उपजायो आद अंत एक है अवतारा सोई गुरु समझियो हमारा नमस्कार तिस ही को हमारी सकल प्रजा जिन आप सवारी शिवकन को शिवगण सुख दियो सतरन को पल मोह बद कियो कट कट के अंतर की जानत पले बुरे की पीर पछानत चीटी ते कुंचर अस्थूला सब पर कृपा दृश कर फूला संतन दुख पाए ते दुखी सुख पाए साधन के सुखी एक एक की पीर पछाने कट कट के पट पट की जाने जब उद करक करा कर तारा परचा तरत तब दे अपारा जब आ करक करत हूँ कब हूँ तुम मैं मिलत दे तत् सब हूँ जेते बदन श्रेष्ठ सब तारे आप आपनी बूझ उचारे तुम सब ही ते रहत निरालम जानत वेद पेद अर आलम निरंकार निर्विकार निर्लंब आद नील अनाद सब ताका मूढ़ उचारत पेता जाको पेवन पावत बेदा ताको कर पाहन अनुमानत महामूढ़ कछ पेद न जानत महादेव को कहत सदा शिव निरंकार का चिंत न पिव आप आपनी बोध है जेती वर्णत पेन पेन तोय तेती तुमरा लखण जाए पसारा कह विद सजा प्रथम संसारा एक रूप अनूप स्वरूपा रंक पयो राग कई पूपा अंडज जेरत से तजकीनी उत्पच कहान बहु रचलीनी कौ फूल राजावे बैठा कौ सिमट पयो शंकरे कैठा सिगरी श्रेष्ठ दिखाए अचंभव आद जुगाद स्वरूप स्वयंभव अब रक्षा मेरी तुम करो ਸਿੱਖ ਅਵਾਰ ਅਸਿੱਖ ਸੰਗੁਰੂ ਦੋਸਤ ਜੇਤੇ ਉਠ ਵਤ ਉਤਪਾਤਾ ਸਕਲ ਮਲੇਸ਼ ਕਰੋ ਰਣ ਕਾਤਾ ਜਿਆ ਤੁਜਤਾ ਸਰਨੀ ਪਰੇ ਤਿਨ ਕੇ ਦੋਸਤ ਦੁਖ ਤਵੈ ਮਰੇ ਪੁਰਖ ਜਵਨ ਪਗ ਪਰੇ ਤਿਹਾਰੇ ਤਿਨ ਕੇ ਤੁਮ ਸੰਕਟ ਸਭ ਟਾਰੇ ਜੋ ਕਾਲ ਕੋ ਇੱਕ ਬਾਰ ਤੇ ਹੈ ਤਾਕੇ ਕਾਲ ਨਿਕਟਨੈ ਹੈ ਰੱਛਾ ਹੋਏ ਤਾਹੇ ਸਭ ਕਾਲਾ ਦੁਸ਼ਟ ਅਰਿਸ਼ਟ ਟੜੈ ਤਤਕਾਲਾ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਦਿਸਤਨ ਜਾਇ ਨ ਹਰਹੋ ਤਾਕੇ ਤਾਪ ਤਨਕ ਮੈਂ ਹਰਹੋ ਰਿੱਧ ਸਿੱਧ ਕਰਮੋ ਸਭ ਹੋਈ ਦੁਸ਼ਟ ਸ਼ਾਸ ਵੈ ਸਕੈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਏਕ ਬਾਰ ਜਿਨ ਤੁਮੈ ਸੰਭਾਰਾ ਕਾਲ ਫਾਸਤੇ ਤਾਹੇ ਉਬਾਰਾ ਜਿਨ ਨਰ ਨਾਮ ਤਿਹਾਰੋ ਕਹਾ ਦਰਦ ਦੁਸਤ ਦੋਖ ਤੇਰਾ ਖੜਗ ਕੇਤ ਮੈਂ ਸਰਨ ਤਿਹਾਰੀ ਆਪ ਆਤ ਤੇ ਲਿਓ ਉਬਾਰੀ ਸਰਬ ਠੋਰ ਮੋਹ ਸਹਾਈ ਦੁਸਤ ਦੋਖ ਤੇ ਲਿਓ ਬਚਾਈ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰੀ ਹਮ ਪਰ ਜਗ ਮਾਤਾ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਕਰਾ ਪੂਰਨ ਸੁਭਰਾਤਾ ਕਿਰਵਿਕ ਸਕਲ ਦੇ ਕੋ ਹਰਤਾ ਦੁਸ਼ਟ ਦੋਖੀਣ ਕੋ ਸ਼ੈ ਕਰਤਾ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਆਸ ਤੁਜਾ ਪੈ ਦਿਆਲਾ ਪੂਰਨ ਕਰਾ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਤਤਕਾਲਾ ਮਨ ਬਾਚਿਤ ਫਲ ਪਾਵੈ ਸੋਈ ਦੁਖ ਨ ਤਿਸੈ ਵਿਆਪਤ ਕੋਈ ਅੜਲ ਸੁਣੈ ਗੋਂਗ ਜੋ ਆਏ ਸੁਰਸਨਾ ਪਾਵੈ ਸੁਣੈ ਮੂੜ ਚਿਤ ਲਾਇ ਚਤੁਰਤਾ ਆਵੈ ਦੁਖ ਦਰਦ ਪਉ ਨਿਕਟ ਨ ਤਿਨ ਨਰ ਕੇ ਰਹੈ ਹੋ ਜੋ ਜਾ ਕੀ ਇੱਕ ਬਾਰ ਚੌਪਈ ਕੋ ਕਹਿ ਚੌਪਈ ਸੰਬਤ 17 ਸੈਸ ਭਣਜੈ ਅਰਧ ਸੈਸ ਪੁਨ ਤੀਨ ਕਹਿਜੈ ਪਾਦਲ ਸੁਦੀ ਅਸ਼ਟਮੀ ਰਵਿਵਾਰਾ ਤੀਰ ਸਤਦਰ ਗੰਧ ਸਵਾਰਾ ਸਵਈਆ ਪਾਏਂਗੇ ਜਬ ਤੇ ਤੁਮਰੇ ਤਬ ਤੇ ਕੋ ਆਖ ਤੇਰੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਨਿਓ ਰਾਮ ਰਹੀਮ ਪੁਰਾਨ ਕੁਰਾਨ ਅਨੇਕ ਕਹੈ ਮਤ ਏਕ ਨ ਮਾਨਿਓ ਸਿਮਰਤ ਸ਼ਾਸਤਰ ਵੇਦ ਸਵੈ ਬਹੁ ਭੇਦ ਕਹੈ ਹਮ ਏਕ ਨ ਜਾਣਿਓ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਸਪਾਨ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਤੁਮਰੀ ਕਰ ਮੈਂ ਨਾ ਕਹਿਓ ਸਭ ਤੋਏ ਬਖਾਨਿਓ ਦੋਰਾ ਸਗਲ ਦੁਆਰ ਕੋ ਛਾੜ ਕੇ ਗਇਓ ਤੁਹਾਰੋ ਦੁਆਰ ਬਾਹੇ ਗਏ ਕੀ ਲਾਜ ਅਸ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਦਾਸ ਤੁਹਾਰ ਸਗਲ ਦੁਆਰ ਕੋ ਛਾੜ ਕੇ ਗਇਓ ਤੁਹਾਰੋ ਦੁਆਰ ਬਾਹੇ ਗਏ ਕੀ ਲਾਜ ਅਸ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਦਾਸ ਤੁਹਾਰ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ
Now let's go inside to watch the full event.
Yes, excellent. Thank you.
I'm Deji Davis. I'm the chair of the FA's Inclusion Advisory Board. Now, the role of the Inclusion Advisory Board is to work alongside and challenge both the executive and the board at the FA in the creation and delivery of our equality, diversity and inclusion strategies. As the nation's #1 sport, it was said earlier, football has an incredible power to bring people together. Yeah? Can you hear me? Is that better? Okay. So football has an incredible power to bring people together, eradicate social barriers, and be a force for good across communities. And one of our key commitments is to do everything in our power to deliver a game free of discrimination. You can see this in our FA Group strategy and our Equality, Diversity and Inclusion strategy, also known as a game for all. Now that's very intentionally named because football really is for all of us. Now our work involves creating more diverse workforce across football from inside and out, from bottom to top. It also means that we embrace people from all backgrounds, cultures and walks of life. We must respect and value our differences across football and across society, as such differences are what make us great. But we cannot do this alone. We must work with partners and community groups to ensure the game is accessible and welcoming for everyone, and that every single person has the right to play and participate in the game with confidence and without prejudice, regardless of their ability or background. This applies at all levels of the game, whether grassroots, behind the scenes, or on the terraces at the elite level game. It's a real pleasure to host this Vaisakhi celebration this evening with you at Wembley Stadium. It's the first time we've ever done this, and we hope it's the first of many. This is an important event for the FA also. We want to help drive up participation across one of the largest minority communities in the country. There are some fantastic role models out there across the men's, women's, para-football, coaching, officiating, and behind the scenes of the game. And we welcome you all here today, both practitioners and followers of football. My best wishes to you all, and happy Vaisakhi. I'm sure you all have a great evening here, so thank you for attending on behalf of the FA. Thank you.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here alongside all the other dignitaries and to be invited by the FA this evening. I want to give a special thanks to Dal Dorok for organising this fantastic event. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Preet Kaur Gill, Member of Parliament for Birmingham Edgbaston, Britain's first female Sikh MP, the Shadow Cabinet Minister for International Development, and Chair of the All-Party Parliamentary Group for British Sikhs. We are a cross-party group with even representation across parties, providing a forum and campaigning platform for MPs on issues that matter to Sikhs in the United Kingdom. The work we do covers issues like anti-Sikh hate, the Sikh data gap in areas such as health inequalities, and our successful campaign to ensure that carrying the Qurban was not criminalised in the Offences Weapons Act. As chair of the All-Party Parliamentary Group for British Sikhs, it gives me great pleasure to see the Sikh community and its faith being recognised through the FA's faith and football work. Sport brings people together, and we have so many examples of Sikh athletes over the years as a force for good. It was brilliant to see Football Focus's feature on Sikh players coming up in football earlier this year, including Kira Rai for Derby County Women, Braddon Zinkela for Birmingham Under-18s, and Mal Singh Benning at Port Vale. And let's not forget Simran Jumat at Coventry United, and I'm sure many others I've absolutely forgotten. And earlier this year, Bhapinder Singh Gill became the first person of Sikh Punjabi heritage to officiate in a Premier League match. My recent dealings with the FA included a working group focusing on the Qurban at Wembley Stadium and making sure that Sikhs don't feel that they are victimised because they carry their religious articles of faith. The Qurban, of course, is allowed into public spaces, and Wembley Stadium is no different. I know that the FA want football to be for all. They have a clear strategy and make it clear that every single person has the right to play and participate in the game with confidence and without prejudice, regardless of their ability and background. The FA and other football authorities are also working closely with the government and parliamentarians on the online safety bill to ensure that social media companies are held to account for the content on their platforms and to protect participants in the game from online discriminatory abuse. As we know, in recent years, hate crimes have been on the rise. Last year, recorded hate crimes for Sikhs nearly trebled on the previous year. There have been horrific incidents of anti-Sikh discrimination recently, with the bullies at a school in Telford who pulled off a Sikh boy's dastar, or the life-changing attack on Avtar Singh in Manchester. Players like Jan Danda have spoken out about the abuse that they have faced online and the lack of action by social media companies. And we all saw the abuse hurled at Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho and Bukayo Saka after the Euros final the other summer. As a global game and our national support, football really does have the power to change attitudes and bring people together. There is probably no area of media and entertainment that is so diverse, with players of all nations coming to play for the badge of our teams. I hope through the outreach work being done here and with tougher laws to stamp out racist abuse and changing attitudes, we can see better representation of British Sikhs and South Asians in our national sport. South Asians make up 8% of the population, but less than 1% of professional footballers. So we know that there is still much more to be done. And as chair of the All-Party Parliamentary Group for British Sikhs, I hope that we can continue to work together with everyone here to break down some of those barriers and ensure that Sikhs are fully represented and that their talent is realised, particularly with outreach at our gurdwaras, because that is where our community is. Which is why commissioning local surveys really helps target communities in addressing some of the barriers that they face. The Wolves Foundation actually commissioned a report by the Centre for Sikh and Punjabi Studies at Wolverhampton University by Professor Dr. Abinderjeet Kaur Thakur. And they agreed that one of their recommendations was that, we've got to engage with gurdwaras. They're not just the places of worship or religious institutions. They are our social hubs. They are where the community is. They are institutions of learning. They are places of activism. If there's anything that we learn from our gurus, that's exactly what our Guru Gars were for. It is why the work that the FA is doing on this is so important, and we need more of it. Personally, my dream is that one day we can see a Sikh Mo Salah playing in the Premier League. Yes, I'm a Liverpool fan. You can take the mick out of the season we're having afterwards, but let's hope for a win tonight at Leeds United. It's a pleasure, really, to be here, and the sheer turnout really demonstrates that our community wants to embrace football more. This event is the first time we've seen Vaisakhi being celebrated at a national football stadium, and I hope it continues for years to come. I'm really proud that next week, Edgbaston Cricket Ground in my constituency is going to be hosting Vaisakhi by encouraging young people from 12 and above to engage in cricket. So it's wonderful to see stadiums up and down the country really engaging with the Sikh community. Vaisakhi really is a time for us to reflect on the teachings of our gurus that remind us that the human race is one under God, and that we should work towards the well-being of all. You all know, and I know you did the prayer outside, which I missed, unfortunately, but that saying of Nanak Naam Chardi Kala Tere Pane Sarabata Pala, it's about how we strive for equality and injustice, and I think we can all share in that sentiment here tonight. Activism has always very much been a part of the Sikh faith. It's really who we are. So my best wishes to you all. Happy Vaisakhi to you all. I know you're going to have a great evening. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Many of us, of course, can imagine our grandfathers and grandmothers arriving in the UK in the 50s, in the 60s and in the 70s at a time of mass employment and the promise of a better life. Well, some of you have heard this before, but in 1954, a gentleman called Sardar Santokh Singh Grewal left his pind in the Punjab to travel to the UK in search of a better life. And my Punjabi is not great anymore, but what his parents said to him at the time was, "Putar ji, chala jao. Tera koi kam nahi ithe. 2 rupiye pa ke main chala gaya." Translation for the non-Sikhs in the room: my father and mother told me to get lost when I was 14. I had a few rupees in my pocket and I ended up in the UK. That's how my family ended up in here. So, on his own, he joined many other Sikhs and wider migrant communities in search of work. And work is what many of our forefathers did for decades as they built their lives around their families, creating wealth and integrating into British society. But it wasn't easy. Sport wasn't always an outlet for migrant communities. Asians across the spectrum didn't see sport as a viable career option, and the work ethic of migrant communities meant that sport was merely a pastime in most cases. And now you fast forward 70 years since the 50s, and Sardar Santokh Singh Grewal's grandson stands here in front of you today. I have the honour and privilege to be able to try and get more Sikhs, more people across every single community into the game. So it is my absolute honour. My Nana Ji was a real inspiration to me. He loved cricket. He loved to watch me play football as a child in the teams that I played for. But in sport as a whole, even today, the numbers are quite small in terms of participation, and we must ask ourselves why. And as Preet said earlier, Sikhs are, of course, very prominent in the UK. They make up now over 500,000 in England and Wales, up 24% since the last census, and they now comprise just under a percentage of the entire population. But despite the enormous contribution of Sikhs in the West, let's not forget the issues that some Sikhs and Punjabis are facing in other parts of the world right now. Our thoughts and prayers are with those, and we pray that they remain in Chardi Kala. We cannot forget those people. One of our commitments is to do everything in our power to deliver a game free from discrimination. You can see this in our FA group strategy as well as in our equality, diversity and inclusion strategy, which is called A Game for All. This is a huge part of the work that we do. We have an Asian inclusion strategy which we launched in 2019, just before the pandemic. But we also want to see more communities, such as the Sikh community, take part in sport at all levels. And while we can acknowledge pioneers across the game that some people have already mentioned, Preet's mentioned, some of who you will see on the stage today, there are also lots of silent heroes across the country. Coaches, volunteers, club officials, referees, and parents across the country who maintain a role in this game. And some of those people are in the room today. So thank you for your involvement. And of course, Sikhi and football has a long history in England, with the English assertion that Sikhs are deemed a martial race. So whether it's the early migrants from the Punjab in the 1950s and 60s finding a way to stay active by basically kicking footballs around, the very first Shahidi Games took place in Birmingham in 1965. To the clubs and leagues beginning to form in the 70s and the 80s, leading to more organised football up and down the country, in Southall, in Birmingham, Leicester, for example, where many local Sikh tournaments took place. These were very key, powerful tools for ethno-cultural cohesion. And fast forward today, where many clubs of Sikh heritage operate as fully formed FA-affiliated clubs in various parts of the football pyramid. I can name a few, but Sporting Khalsa, operating in Step 4 of the Midlands Northern Premier League, have a humble beginning on a local park 25 years ago, set up through the local Gurdwara. I know, because I was there. It's my hometown. And where are the Sporting Khalsa guys? They need a round of applause for all the work that they've done. Give us a wave, guys. And of course, players with Sikh backgrounds, I won't mention them all now because they have been mentioned already. Now imagine a young player walks out onto the pitch where you've been today at Wembley. The smells, the sights, and the sounds. The smell of the pitch. The buriya ne kehna kaa di smell hondi si, but the pitch, the smell of the pitch, the sound of the roaring crowds, the sights of thousands of fans. Our sons and daughters can be a part of that. They can be part of that. We just need to continue to encourage them. So, let me also acknowledge many of the Sikh sporting organisations and wider good causes in the room today. First of all, many thanks to Preet Gill, MP, who's here with us this evening, and the other FA dignitaries. From football, I've mentioned Sporting Khalsa, but I also want to mention Punjab United from Gravesend. There they are, they're in red. You can't miss them. You'll hear a bit more from them later on. Can I also mention Singh Sabha, Slough FC, and many more? Please don't be offended if I haven't mentioned you. Please. All the football fan groups from across the country, Upna England, Punjabi Rams, Punjabi Blues, where are some of those guys? There they are. Thank you for being here today. Other sporting bodies, Sporting Equals and the Sikh Games are here as well. A great exhibition over there talking about South Asians, females in the game. Please go and see their stands. And obviously, you're here to view the trophies, the most amazing trophies. But also the many organisations who wanted to be here today. Sikh Federation, Sheru Classic, Midland Langar Seva Society, who are catering for us today. Special mention to Aranjit because it is her birthday today. So happy birthday, Aranjit. She's here on her birthday at Wembley to take part in this event. The various Sikh police associations, the Sikh Defence Network, the SIKH Channel, Sky Sports News. Special thank you to Kirtan for performing Kirtan for us, and to Basics of Sikhi and Amrit Kaur, who you're going to hear from today. And of course, Harps and Amrit Singh, man. I'll get the thank yous in now, because we won't do that later. And all of our panel guests that are going to be here today. So, a pleasure to host this Vaisakhi evening with you at Wembley. As we know, it's the first time it's ever been done. I think we have created a bit of record here. But we've done this for the Sikh community and we hope it continues. On the weekend, we hosted 1,000 Muslims in this very room on Saturday night to break their fast as part of the iftar and the holy month of Ramadan. Football is for everyone. Before I finish, I've got a few messages from some colleagues who couldn't be here today. So there's a message from a very special person from the FA who wanted to send his special wishes.
Hi everybody, I just wanted to wish you all a very happy Vaisakhi. I know this is an important moment in the Sikh calendar and it's great that we're able to host you here at Wembley and brilliant to see so many communities coming together across the country to celebrate this special month. So hope you all have a wonderful evening and best wishes.
Short but sweet. Many thanks to Gareth Southgate. I did think about asking him to do a full sentence in Punjabi, but I felt I was pushing it, to be honest with you. So anyway, this is a really important event for the FA. We want to walk away with you being inspired, being educated, and taking away the messages of football to your local communities. Take the messages back, spread the word. We're going to support you along the way. Please remain in touch with us. Seek out the information you're looking for, and let's collectively make a difference. Today you're in our home, the home of football. So football says, Jianu, welcome. Everybody is allowed to take part in this game. My best wishes to you all. Happy Vaisakhi. I'm sure you'll have a great evening. So thank you for attending on behalf of the FA. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
you very much.
Sure, I'm Deji Davis. I'm chair of the FA's Inclusion Advisory Board. The Inclusion Advisory Board's role is to help guide and advise the board and the FA's executive team on EDI strategies.
Perfect. So what was your role in today in organising?
So all of the credit needs to go to Dal Daroch. This has very much been his event. He's asked me to come along and give an introduction speech on behalf of the FA. So I've not been involved in the planning of this, and I have to say it's quite inspiring and incredible to see how many people are here in the room. It's the first time we've had this kind of event, and we plan to do a lot more of them in the future.
Wonderful. So how important are events like today?
So important. As I said earlier, football is our national game, played by and watched by millions. And we need to find ways to make sure everyone has a chance to participate in the game in whatever way that way may be. In order to do that, we need to be really intentional about making sure we're accessing and reaching everyone from all sorts of communities and backgrounds, irrespective of where people have come from. So events like this are a real great opportunity to begin that conversation. And it's just that, it's the start of a conversation. I'd like to see us do a lot more of this. And this is, again, just the beginning of what I hope will become a really good relationship with the Sikh community and the FA.
Yeah, we look forward to it. And just following on from what you just said, in the future, where do you see this going for football?
Well, look, the Inclusion Advisory Board is there because we need to do more. It's no secret that representation in the game is not where it needs to be. In the Asian participation level in professional football, the numbers are very low if you compare them to grassroots participation, which is far closer to population splits. The vision I have, the ultimate long-term vision, is the Inclusion Advisory Board not being necessary because these things just happen naturally. There's natural representation. But we're not there yet, so clearly we need to be intentional. And we've got a number of programmes and ideas down the line that I think will help us get to that point.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Fateh. Would you just introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Nav Singh. I'm a sports scientist for Arsenal Football Club.
Thank you. So what are your thoughts on events like Vaisakhi today celebrated here?
I think, obviously, with Vaisakhi being such a special event in Sikh history, is very important, but to do it in a sporting organisation like the Wembley, like the FA, just shows the power and the influence of today and the way society is changing, right? And I think it's so amazing to see this here today, to the embrace not only just faith but within football as well. It's beautiful.
With the work that you do, how important is this kind of event?
Yeah, it's massively important because it's then providing knowledge, right? It's educating others on people's identity, people's faith, their foundation, what makes them who they are. And I think with football, faith is such a big part of sport. Like, you notice with every single win, with every single start of a game, a player will recognise their faith. They'll make a prayer, and whatever way they wish to, it's the same way, right? We're just showcasing to the world that we also have an identity in this world, as well as we want to have it in football as well. We want to be on the same wavelength as everyone else.
100%.
Yeah.
I think it's important to obviously take the players on with their full honour of their identity and everything that comes with it, and not just strip certain parts away for them for the sport. Like, definitely. In terms of the future, where do you see these kind of events going?
That's a great question because I can't predict the future. But
what would you like?
Where would I want it to be? Yeah. Obviously, I would like to see us more involved in the game, and I think everyone wants that, and everyone's been wanting that for many years. Do I feel like the door is open? I do feel like it's open now. I feel like there's more opportunities within sport, not just football. People need to realise not just football, but that across sport that we need to be showcasing our talent. We need to push ourselves and break down the barriers that are in place within sport. So my aim is that more events like this will then lead to more participation events, more talent ID events, and then possibly inspire young Sikh kids to take sport seriously and have the support of not only their families but their faith as well. Hello everyone, Nav Singh, sports scientist at Arsenal Football Club. Happy Vaisakhi.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਪ੍ਰੀਤਕੌਰ ਗਿੱਲ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਆਫ ਪਾਰਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਬਰਮਿੰਘਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਸਟਨ ਤੋਂ
Thank you. So in terms of events like today, how important are they?
It's really important. Look, we're here in Wembley. The FA, the Football Association, has for the very first time in a big stadium like this decided to celebrate Vaisakhi with their Faith and Football series. So it is really, really great to see this because we know that it has been really difficult and a tough journey for especially Upper to get into a sport like football. And whilst we're seeing lots of young Norjavan coming forward, there isn't still enough people coming through given our population sizes. And, you know, I think Mal Benning said it really well. He said that, you know, his dad told him that you have to work 25% more harder. And it's always the way if you're not only Asian, but if you're from a black minority ethnic group and you're trying to get through and you're the first, then it is always very tough. And you have to work much, much harder because you know those barriers exist. So today, this celebration, the fact that we have so many people from the Sikh community represented here today just shows that, you know, sport is a way of uniting people. And it's brilliant that stadiums like this and sports like the FA want to engage with the Sikh community, as they do with all communities.
Thank you. How have you found today's event?
I think it's beautiful, the fact that, you know, you did ardas on the pitch. You know, people that are from non-Sikh backgrounds are getting to learn about Sikh. You've got basics for Sikh, talking about itihas, talking about our history. That's really important, actually. When it's Vaisakhi, we have got into this mindset of talking about it as a festival in the way that it's being taught to us or our kids in school books. Actually, we know our itihas is much more. The reason that Guru Gobind Singh Ji created Khalsa Panth, our history has really got to be taught in different ways. And if we can share those very great principles and values, then other people get to understand who the Sikh community is, its contribution to the United Kingdom. So yeah, it's absolutely fantastic to be here.
Yeah. In terms of the future, what do you want to see?
Well, next Sunday 23 ਤਰੀਕ ਅਪ੍ਰੈਲ ਨੂੰ ਐਜਬਾਸਟਨ ਕ੍ਰਿਕਟ ਗਰਾਊਂਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 10 ਤੋਂ 4 ਵਜੇ 12 ਸਾਲ ਦੇ ਨਿਆਣਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਵਿਸਾਖੀ ਨੂੰ ਮਨਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤਾ. So I want to see not just Wembley Stadium, the very fact that Edgbaston Cricket Ground is going to be celebrating Vaisakhi next Sunday on the 23rd of April, and they're doing a program for boys and girls to come and participate in cricket as a way of bringing sport to celebrate faith, I think is brilliant. So it's not just that I'm here in Wembley, the fact that Edgbaston's been open, I want to see more of these events happening. I want to see Sikhs being proud of their heritage, being proud of who they are and their identity, and learning about their itihas. One thing I want to leave you with, when I went to university and I was 18 and my dad said to me, he said, it's brilliant you're going to university. Guess what? You're going to learn some really good stuff. You're going to have a career pathway. You're going to do brilliant things for your life. What are you going to give back to your community? And he made me think. I didn't have the answer, but actually that never left me. And no matter what, that's the point we've got to think about, is we are part of a bigger community. Our gurukar are places of learning. There are religious institutions. You know, there are places of activism. They are the things that the gurus taught us, these values and principles. It's down to us to make sure that we live them and that we implement them and we teach the future generation. So don't always think about yourself. Think about that Guru Nanak Dev Ji's message, but what contribution do you make to your community and your society?
Wow. Thank you. What a beautiful message to leave it on. So say happy Vaisakhi for everyone at home.
Vaisakhi di lakh lakh vidai. Vaheguru ji ka khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki fateh.
Well, my name is Dev Trahan. I'm an FA Level 2 scout and I'm a football journalist for Sky Sports News.
Thank you. So in terms of today's event, how important is it?
I think events like this are extremely important. It's really important to recognise the valuable contribution that Sikhs, Punjabis, the wider South Asian community have made in this country and in the beautiful game. We've got a whole host of talent here in the room today, and it's brilliant to see the Football Association really standing with the Sikh community in particular tonight.
Would you mind just sharing as well some of the work that you're currently working on?
Gosh, where do I start? How long have you got? I think the work that I'm probably most proud of at the moment is my work around British South Asian women in football, particularly the female players. We've just created the very first timeline documenting the history of South Asian female footballers in the modern English game. Really proud to have it here on display tonight at the home of English football. And for me, the future for British South Asians in football, I believe, is with the women in the game. That we right now have the finest crop of football talent that we've ever seen coming out of the South Asian female community. So many wonderful role models who have never had their stories properly told before, and that's why I'm really, really proud of this work, because seeing is believing. We know this, the power of role models, and these girls are shattering glass ceiling after glass ceiling. They're breaking down barriers, and long may it continue.
In terms of the future, where do you see this going? Where do you want to see the work going?
I'd love to see a day when we don't need to do the work, when we can totally, fully normalise British South Asians in football. They still appear to be something of a novelty in the game. I think a lot of good work has been done, and I'm really proud that I've had support from Sky Sports News to build the first topic, first index page dedicated to British South Asians in football in the history of the mainstream media. I'm really proud to say it's the longest running major initiative around British South Asians in football anywhere, not just media, but in football. And I think it's really time that we get more support, more dedicated investment from the stakeholders in the game. They really step up, because we do have a very serious issue. Sanjay Bandari, the chair of Kick It Out, has called British South Asians the single largest statistical anomaly in football. And if that's not enough to get football behind this issue, and it's a football-wide problem, I don't know what will, but the time for action is now. We've had a lot of words. Britain South Asian community, the football family, they need to see action, they want to see action, and they're going to see action.
Lovely. Thank you for answering our questions. Happy Vaisakhi to everyone at home.
Thank you, and a happy Vaisakhi.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. I'm joined here with Kira. Would you mind just introducing yourself to everyone at home?
I'm Kira. I play for Derby County and I play left wing.
Thank you. So in terms of today's event, how important is it?
I think it's really important to get a group of Sikhi people together in a room to celebrate Vaisakhi, but also football, and kind of merge the two together and show that there are Sikhs in the game that perhaps people don't realise, but also educate themselves on things with the religion that people perhaps don't know about.
So in terms of today's event, what was your role?
For me, I was on a spotlight to shine a bit of a light on Sikhs, females in the game, and just to talk about how many South Asians are in the game, in the women's game as a whole.
Yeah, so obviously there aren't as many South Asian women as we'd love to see. In terms of the future, how do you think we could overcome this?
I think it's just about giving girls a chance, and not just giving them a chance, but like an equal chance to other people. Like, you shouldn't see skin colour or religion as a barrier. It should just be, if you're good at football, you're good at football. So hopefully now that there's more Sikh girls playing than ever, they're actually given an equal chance.
Thank you. We love to see obviously what you do in the future across the board, across Sikh women. Thank you. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Would you mind just introducing yourself for everyone at home?
Yeah, so my name is Brandon Sinclair, and I play for Birmingham City Football Club.
Thank you. And yourself?
My name's Reece Sinclair, and I'm 16 and I play for Leicester City Football Club.
Thank you. So how important are events like this?
Yeah, they're really good. Meeting everyone, especially of Sikh background, and celebrating Vaisakhi. Yeah, I think it's really important.
Yeah, and yourself?
I think bringing everyone together, it's massive, and it helps to bring one community, and it's good for networking.
In terms of your career, obviously, where do you see it going? Where has it begun?
Yeah, so I started when I was 8 years old. I've been through the Birmingham City Academy all the way throughout. And my dream one day is to play here for England, and be the first Sikh player to play for England, really.
Wow. Very, very impressive. And yourself?
Yeah, I started at Birmingham as well when I was young, did work out there, and then came to Leicester when I was 14, and I now hope to aspire to play with or against them in the Premier League, and to hopefully play for England one day and lift the best trophies.
Obviously, because you guys are brothers, do you guys used to train together? Was it very competitive? Are you from like a sporty family?
Yeah, we were always competitive when we were younger, always fighting, playing together. But yeah, my dad used to play sports, football, rugby, and that's all we were brought up on, really. So yeah, we've always played football since young.
Yeah, naughty.
I think the competitive side has brought the best out of us. I think we used to have like little goal charts, little games against each other. I think that's brought the best out of us and has helped us to get to where we are today.
In terms of the future, where do you see football going in terms of like diversity?
I think like us two here, standing, trying to make a career in football, that should spread some inspiration on younger kids coming through, and hopefully push some parents into helping their kids come through. So yeah, it's good, really.
I think obviously my brother helping me, he's an inspiration for me, and then as we get older and hopefully progress through, I want to see more younger kids come through in the same pathway as well as us.
Thank you. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Would you mind just introducing yourself for everyone at home?
Yes, first of all to everybody, Vaisakhi Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaisakhi Ji Ki Fateh. Yes, my name is John L. Singh, and I work for the FA as an ambassador, and I advise on equality, diversity and inclusion.
Thank you. How important are events like this today?
I think they're massively important to raise the profile of Sikhs within the game, not just playing, but on the administration side of it, the coaching side of it. And I think the more it's publicised, the more encouragement we give to our future generations.
In terms of your position, what is it you obviously hold?
I basically, my work is in terms of referees and in terms of their recruitment, retention, development and training. So basically it's to first of all, encourage our youngsters to take up refereeing, and from there to hopefully, retrain them and get them to the highest level possible.
And how is it we do that? I think you mentioned earlier on the panel the fact that it puts off family and family encouragement. What else would you say on that?
It's all about, hard work and how much the individuals want it in life. And obviously, if, like myself and my sons, you want it badly enough, it's not just football, that's just the whole thing in life, to be honest with you. If you want anything badly enough and you work hard for it, and hopefully in the future you will reap the rewards.
In terms of the future, where do you see these kind of events going? Where do you want the FA to go with these events?
To be honest with you, I mean, the FA and the Premier League have made huge strides in terms of, in life nothing comes without finance, and the Premier League and the FA have basically put their money where their mouth is, and put in millions in terms of putting money into the grassroots level and the professional level to encourage and give our youngsters the opportunity to develop themselves in the game.
Thank you for answering all my questions.
Yeah, my name's Aman Singh Shergill. I'm a first team sports scientist at Aston Villa Football Club.
Thank you. So in terms of events like this today, how important are they?
Very important to first of all celebrate Vaisakhi and the importance of that, and to do it with the backdrop of football and one of the homes of football, or the home of football in the country, and showcase all the different people we have within the game, within different communities, and to promote our culture and our Sikhi people in the game.
In terms of your career, what is it that you work on?
So I work with players and with coaches and managers on trying to make players the best athletes essentially as they can be, and in the best physical shape. That's kind of my area.
In terms of the future and diversity, where do you see the FA going with this? What do you want to see?
I think it's just promoting our people in the game, and us all being aware of who they are and what they do, and supporting them ourselves and seeing more, as many as possible, and hopefully one day on the pitch as well.
Yeah, and for young players, how important is that to see that sort of representation within the game?
Yeah, I think it gives them something to look to. We've got a few here and there's a few more who aren't here, players of males and females, and it gives them something to strive to. I think that's important.
Hello, yes, I'm Dalvinder Singh Daroch from the FA. I'm the Head of Diversity and Inclusion Strategic Programmes here.
How does it feel to have Vaisakhi here? What made you want to put this together?
So it's part of our FA Faith and Football series, so we do a lot of work across our equality work to make sure that we're engaging with people from all backgrounds. What we've started to do over the last few years is engage with faith communities. So just here 2 days ago we had 1,000 Muslims break their fast as part of the holy month of Ramadan, and so it was the first time that we decided to do something with the Sikh population, because we haven't had them at Wembley before in an event like this. So we hope to grow these kind of things, and later on in the year we engage with other faith communities as well, all of the major religions of the country.
Wow, that's amazing. And I know you're trying to push for more South Asian representation within the game. What do you have in future plans-wise?
So we do have an Asian inclusion strategy. It's called Bringing Opportunities to Communities. People can look it up on our website. It's been designed to engage with as many people from Asian populations, not just South Asian, but also East Asian as well. So if you're Chinese or Japanese, but we know that the majority of the population are South Asian. So you could be, Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, etc. So there is a piece of work to do that, and that's growing, kind of year by year. But I think it's safe to say that at this point in time, we've never been in a better place in terms of Asian inclusion in the game. Things like this are, demonstrating that the FA really cares, and we're engaging with faith communities because football needs to be accessible to everybody.
Definitely, I think the community here can see that today, where we came together, how nice it was to be honoured and celebrated, our celebration as well as Muslims Ramadan, and all the projects that you're pushing. Are any final words you'd like to say?
Just happy Vaisakhi to everybody. It's been great to see everybody here today. The first time ever that the Ardas and Chaupai Sahib has been recited from pitchside. I think we've broken some records here in terms of, it's never been done before, and people are really happy. So happy Vaisakhi to everybody. Please engage with sport, engage with football, come and see us, come and talk to us, get involved, and make the most of sport and physical activity.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Thank you to everyone who came today. I hope you all enjoyed the event. We'd like to also thank the FA for putting on this event, including diversity, trying to push for more South Asian minority diversity and inclusion within the sport. I'd like to also thank everyone that partook in actually making this come together. We hope you enjoyed the show. Keep watching SIKH Channel.